welcome back to my channel. So today I actually had a completely different video planned, and then last night I kind of looked over my, so every year at the start of the year I make like a vision board or like a goal list or whatever, and I looked through it and I realized that there were a lot of things that I wrote down that I wanted to do that I ended up not doing this year, and I was kind of annoyed with myself. But then I was like, okay, well, it's only October only, right? Let me go and check and see how many weeks there are left in the year. And then it came up that there's only 10 weeks and 3 days left. And I was like, darn, what do I do now? So what I ended up doing is what I'm going to share with you today, and how you can definitely or hopefully make the most out of those 10 weeks that we have left, because for some reason, ever since the pandemic hit, I feel like every year is just going by quicker and quicker, and things are getting more crazy, and we're quantum jumping into all kinds of different realities, and I kind of don't like a lot of stuff what is going on. And I am going to try and do like a video about us manifesting as a collective and like changing things we don't want, because I think it's important. But for right now, like it's not for nothing that the change starts with you. So if you want to change something, try and manifest it on like a small scale for yourself first. Also, yes, I colored my hair today and I have snow in my hair. Look at this, and on my hat. This is real snow, guys. I can't even believe it. It started snowing today, and it's just been snowing like nonstop. I mean, the snow isn't staying on the ground because it's not cold enough, but still, it kind of freaked me out. So kind of not happy about that. It kind of also got me going into like, darn it, let's do it. And I actually have this little like manifestation planner that I use that I think is really, really good. So I'm going to give you some examples out of that as well. But let's get into it. 10 weeks. It may sound like, for some people, it may sound like a lot. For some people, it may sound like, oh my God, I don't even need to start. Like what I want to do, I don't have enough time to do it. And please remember that time is a man-made concept. We use time in order to organize our lives and our schedules, but the universe doesn't know time. The universe doesn't care about time. It literally does not care whether you want $1 million tomorrow. You could wake up with $1 million tomorrow. You would not be the first person that would have their whole life turned around and changed literally overnight. So let's get that like completely out of the way first. I think it would be really, really good to kind of write down just the overarching areas of your life that you have that you feel need improvement. Like if you write down an area and you feel like you're good in that aspect, just put it to the side. We always have goals in every area of your life, even if we're, for example, like happily married. We want to make sure that it stays that way, right? So there's always something to be improved. But I think the things that are really, really pressing to you so if you are going to sit down on the 31st of December and you had to make a video about your life, like a flashback of like how 2022 went for you, what would you want that video to say? If you had to put it out into the world, right? So there's people that are watching it, that are holding you accountable, that may comment and may say like, hey, what did you actually do this year? Like, what did you accomplish? That is what I want you to write down first, regardless of how like crazy it may seem or how unrealistic it may seem to you at this point. Now, this is usually something that if you weren't in this position, would not recommend. Now I would just break it down into smaller goals and kind of write down almost like action steps you have to take. Now, please like know the difference between inspired action and like so I read this book by Lynn Grabhorn, and she calls it high-ho silvering action, which is basically just out of a need to have to do something. It's like a necessity of I have to take action. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm literally just talking about like, okay, if I want to manifest this, like what do I have to do? Do I have a subliminal for this? Do I have affirmations for this? Do I know actually exactly what I want? Because when you are in a time crunch like this, it is really, really vital to give yourself small steps where you can be like, yep, ticked that off the list. Like that worked out fine. Normally we would say, try to live from the end and live from the perspective of you already have what you want. But I think in this case, it's really, really good to manifest in smaller steps. So I would at first write down basically what are the small steps you want to take. Do you have everything in line that you need in order to manifest those steps? Okay. Do you have your affirmations? Do you know exactly where you want to go? Who would you be? How would you feel big thing. How would you feel about yourself? Okay, we're going forward in smaller and smaller steps. So let's say you want to manifest a relationship with somebody that currently has you blocked. Okay, in that case, I would start with getting unblocked, getting a friendly message, having, conversations, like regular conversations, going on a date. I would go along those steps because, and that's the thing, like if you think about it, yeah, you could get a relationship in 10 weeks. That's kind of not the point. But if you're at a place where this is something that you kind of been putting off for a long time, it can be really, really overwhelming to be like, okay, I have all these goals I want to manifest now. Where do I start? And there's this thing, I know this from ADHD, ADD, I think it's also a little bit from autism. So basically when you have this overwhelming amount of things to do, and this could also like apply to anybody really, I'm not saying it's just for them, but I think what can happen is when you have so many things you want to manifest and you don't know where to start, you can fall into manifestation paralysis. So you're literally sitting here, you know exactly what you want, you're daydreaming about it, you feel the emotions you would feel, knowing you would have this, knowing you could have this. Oftentimes I find it also comes with a connection to a past memory. So I'm all of a sudden reverting back to, 10 years ago, where I was at a place where I kind of felt very similar, but I still hadn't achieved those goals, but I was in a place where I was dreaming about those goals and they seemed just a lot more realistic to me. So I'm tapping into these emotions, from way back when, literally having this like dreamer within you that's just growing and growing and growing. And the more it grows, however, I feel the more your paralysis sets in. Because you're sitting here and you're thinking about it and you're feeling all these feelings, but you're not doing anything about it. You are literally going back to like 10 years ago where you decided, this is just an example, decided you wanted this dream for yourself, but within 10 years, you couldn't make it happen. So I find that this can be a very like dangerous time to fall into that paralysis again, which then in turn could take another 10 years for you to achieve your goal. And that's literally what we don't want. So even if just, let's say you didn't clean your your kitchen for a whole week, and you don't know where to start and you're overwhelmed. So you just don't clean it at all. Every like coach or psychologist or whatever you want to who you want to talk to will tell you, make a list, break it down into really small tasks and start small. Everyone will tell you this. And I think with manifestation, it also really helps to start small. Go through it step by step. So we wrote down the overarching topics. We wrote down the small goals that we want to achieve. Now I would write down for each goal which manifestation technique you want to use. Whether you want to set a timeline for yourself or not, or like a deadline, is really up to you. I personally don't like to do it because I just feel that, I'm standing myself in the way, I'm standing the universe in the way, like why would I need to do that? Then I would write down what actual action steps do I actually have to take outside of manifestation? Like, is there something that I actually need to do? Again, this is action that directly benefits your manifestation. So I'm going to give you an example out of my personal life just so you understand the difference. Let's say you want to get unghosted. Making a second account and then messaging them and being like, hey, how you doing? Blah, blah, blah. Talking to them like, do you want to unblock me, unghost me, whatever. That is not what I'm talking about. That is counterproductive because that's not manifestation. But so let's say I want to write a best-selling book, right? I want to become a best-selling author. I can't do that without a book. So I have to sit down and write the freaking book, okay? Which I've been procrastinating on for a very, very long time. Back when I was a ghostwriter, I wrote so many books, like just back to back to back, and I did a lot of translations. I kind of burned myself out. And then I started 2 projects like side by side. One is nonfiction and one is fiction. And now I'm like, what do I do? So what I ended up doing is I put both on my to-do list. And I kind of didn't realize that I only had, I think, a week and a half or 2 weeks until the end of October. I kind of wrote on my list that I want to have both books finished by the end of October, by Halloween, which is unrealistic just from a standpoint of I will be able to write them, but I won't be able to edit them, you know, design the cover, that kind of stuff. So I know I set myself a little bit of an unrealistic expectation, but I still set myself an expectation to be like, okay, this is what I want to do. And I will set myself a deadline just because I personally need deadlines to kind of put, you know, pressure on myself. But that is just for the action in and of itself. That is not for the manifestation, because the manifestation would be to have the books released and to have them do well and people liking it. So you do need to decipher between what do I actually need to take action on and what do I want to manifest. So we got overarching topics, we got your goals, we got the manifestation techniques you want to use, we have the action you have to take in case you do have to take some action. And what I would do, however, is even if you are not at the place yet, I would start manifesting, even if you have not taken that action yet or you haven't finished it or whatever. So in my case, I would, for example, start telling myself I'm a best-selling author, you know, because, and this is why the action part is important, but the manifestation part is the one that will turn it around. If I am a best-selling author and this is my full-time job, I am required to write every day. I will be determined to write every day. I will be inspired to write every day. I may have a publishing agency on my back. They'll be like, write today. As an author, you write every single day. It's just kind of what you do. You write a lot of crap, and then one time there's like something good that will come out. Manifestation can be like similar to it at times. Especially I find with affirmations, like there's a lot of crap affirmations, and then you find the one that like does it for you. That's why you need to be consistent and keep like at it. But I will do that manifestation before I take that action. Maybe I'll do it even parallel at the same time, depending on how I feel. But because I haven't really been in the mindset of I'm writing a book and I'm being an author, it was not on the forefront for me. Just like I have a documentary channel where I love to do documentaries. I wanted to do that as a full-time job before I became a coach, you know. And not to say that I don't like coaching. I love coaching and I feel I'm doing a lot more with that, but still I have all this stuff for the documentary that I wanted to do. I have everything ready. I did all the research. I even started filming it, but I never finished it because I was like, you know what, this is not what I want to do for the rest of my life. So I don't see myself as a YouTube documentary maker. So during my day-to-day life, I don't think about making documentaries. It's not on the forefront of my brain. So if I'm not seeing myself in my subconscious as a published author or a successful author, whatever you want to call it, taking the action and writing the book will not be in the forefront of my subconscious. It just won't. So it will always take a back seat. And then at the end of 2022, I will look back and be like, man, I'm really upset because I wanted to write this book, which, by the way, the nonfiction book is about manifestation. So it does go like with my job. But even though I know it's important to my job and it's a passion project that I have that I want to do, I still don't do it. So it's important to get your subconscious in the right place, which we will come to the next step, which would then be to write down, okay, what kind of limiting beliefs do I have? What really blocks me? What holds me back? Is it just because I don't see myself that way? Is it because I have negative memories attached to it? Do I need to maybe, change bad experiences? Do I need to revise them? Can I just maybe get over them by manifesting, getting over them and moving forward? Like there's so many little parts when it comes to limiting beliefs, which is why I do the tarot readings for you guys. And that's like my main focus when I coach you guys as well, as, hey, let's look into that limiting belief. Like what is really going on here? Why is whatever, isn't coming to pass, not coming to pass for you? It always stems from your limiting belief. Do you really see yourself as the wife/husband/partner you want to be? Do you see yourself as the career person you want to be? Do you see yourself as the millionaire you want to be? Like, are you really in that mindset? And like, even the millionaire thing, that's a great example. You will be a millionaire here first before you are a millionaire here. Always. Okay. Every millionaire will tell you they had a dream, they had an aspiration, they wanted to do something. They knew that what they were going to do was something that brought them passion and that brought them joy and that money was going to follow. But that is a millionaire mindset, regardless, because they know if they follow their passion, they're so good at it that they will make enough money for it to last them for the rest of their life and beyond. Normal people who don't have that mindset go to work and struggle and, live their life paycheck to paycheck because they don't feel like they're doing what they should be doing, or they feel like they are doing what they should be doing, but they're not compensated correctly. They still go into their job and they love what they do, but there's this thing in the back of their mind that's like, well, but it's not going to pay my bills. You know what I mean? Because the mindset is wrong. And I'm not saying that what a lot of people get paid is fair. I think it's very unfair what a lot of people get paid, but you always have like these, and I will never forget this, and I always think about this person. So where I'm from in Germany, we have a hairdresser that is famous. Okay, he does all the celebrities. He literally does, anybody who's anybody, he does. And when I tell you that this man is not that good, he is not that good. Okay, he is not worth the money. And he gave an interview one time, and he was asked, like, why do you charge, like, I think he charged at the time like 500, it's euros, I don't know what that's in dollars, but I think it's very similar, like $500 for a simple man's haircut. And you know what his answer was? Because I can. Because I know people will pay me. I know I'm not that good. I know I'm not worth the money. They're paying for my name. That's a millionaire mindset. He does a job that most people do that they can't pay their bills with. And he was like, I don't care. People are going to pay me this because I'm going to build my name for myself, right? And I'm charging this because I can, not because it's necessarily worth the work that I'm doing. And that is the mindset you need to have regardless of what kind of job you have. You can always be successful no matter what you do. And if you don't like what you do, go and change it. But before you change anything in your outside world, your inside world needs to change. And I think that so if you are in a job that you don't like and you change your inside world, you most of the time probably don't even need to quit. Like, you will maybe be offered a different job, a different position, a promotion, whatever it is that you want. You will elevate somehow because the universe will shift everything around and move everything for you to elevate yourself. So you need to be in the correct mindset. And with only having like 10 weeks left, it can be really difficult because I know a lot of people feel the pressure right now to be like, hey, I really need to do something with those 10 weeks because 2023 is around the corner and I'm not happy. And I understand that because I'm in the same boat, which is why I can tell you about this now in the way that I'm doing it. So I think it's really, really vital for you to understand that 10 weeks for us is a lot of time. For the universe, it's absolutely nothing. And if you just go around, like go by these steps and write down your overarching areas, write down the goals you want to manifest, write down the manifestation techniques you want to do, write down action steps you have to do, potentially if you have to do some, write down a deadline if you want a deadline. But again, remember, if a deadline is limiting you, don't do it. There's no need for it. Write down your limiting beliefs and then start writing down what would I feel, what is going on in my inner world that is currently keeping me from being who I want to be. Getting like heated up now because it's something that I'm really passionate about just because I'm literally in the middle of it myself. And the more I talk about it, the more like anxious I get and the more I fall into this. There's this place that I used to visit when I was a little girl. I was like 9, 10, 11, 12, something like that. And I always used to sit there, and that was around the time that like Harry Potter was big and I was writing fan fiction and like Twilight was coming out. Was that Twilight? I'm not sure. Well, it was definitely Harry Potter time though. I know that for a fact. I think Twilight came a little bit later. And I was just sitting at this place and it was like this beautiful view. I might, if I find a picture, I'll insert a picture here. And I used to sit there and just dream of writing books for the rest of my life because I used to write fan fiction, like a lot of fan fiction. That was my escape from like bullying in school, would be to come home and I had one best friend and her and I would write fan fiction for each other. And that was kind of my only escape, that and video games. I had nothing else, my childhood sucked kind of. But basically that was who I wanted to be. I always knew from very little what I wanted to be. And then I grew up and I went to law school and I tried to get into medical school and I did a psychology degree because I figured like that's kind of what people expect of me, But that dream never let me go because I knew that that was what I was supposed to do with my life. And this year, when the new year came around, like I decided that that was what I wanted to do this year. I was going to, stop ghostwriting, and I was going to stop behinding other people's name, and I was going to do my own thing. And now that the end of the year is so close and I haven't done it, it kind of like, it's a little bit bittersweet. So I am kind of determined to get it done. Which can be difficult if you're an artist yourself. You know that especially like creative projects can be really difficult to kind of push and force, but I'm going to try not to push and force it, but I am very determined to get it done. And I think, just making this video is holding myself accountable as much as holding yourself accountable. I'm actually thinking about, I don't know if anyone would be interested to maybe do like a 10-week challenge with you guys, and maybe just, I don't know, either go through the website, make like a membership thing or something like that. Or like, I'm not really big into Facebook groups. I don't really like Facebook, but maybe might be a good option or something along those lines, where we just do like special stuff and check-ins like every week, and, holding each other accountable, going through this together, and really making sure that you guys manifest at least one. I want you to please at least pick one goal, one bigger goal that you have, and really, really make it happen until the end of the year. Like that would make me the happiest, to have you guys come back and be like, hey, I did this. So I'm actually really thinking about doing this because it's also good to be in a group where people share small successes that will keep you going and keep you motivated, where we can like, exchange things with each other. Or I don't know, maybe I'll even turn it into a course or something. I kind of have to think about it for a little bit because it literally just came to me. But so on the day that I'm filming this, there's 10 weeks and 3 days left. So I am definitely going to think about it. If this is something that you're interested in, leave a comment down below and let me know. Or give this video a thumbs up. I'll take your thumbs up as you wanting to do this if you've made it this far. But yeah, I don't know. I just really want you guys to do well. I want you guys to be successful, and I want you guys to understand that you can manifest whatever you want. And I want to help you get there. I want to help myself get there. I think it's time that we all really start living the life we want. And this year's been tough for a lot of people, especially females, I think. Just with everything going on. And I think it's time we really, really live our life and take our power back and, manifest a better 2023 as a collective, which I think is much, much easier to do if you're in a good place privately within yourself. Like it's easier to help others if you're in a good place yourself. So anyway, I really hope you guys liked this video. It was so nice to be back in my office. I have not been here in a hot minute. I want to redecorate some stuff in here, change some things around. So I'm definitely going to be very, very busy doing that. But yeah, it was really nice to just sit down and chat with you guys again. I really hope this helped you. Again, leave a comment if you are interested in maybe doing some sort of like accountability program. And make sure you like, subscribe, the whole thing. All of my other social media is linked down below as usual. And I will see you guys in the next video. Bye, guys.